of in my head. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the podcast. I have Jeird Doubon, and then of course my wife over here with me. And it's just us this time, so no more of the other crazy guy that was here last time with us. I liked it. I liked the podcast. I listened to it over there, and I liked how it turned out. I did
too.
I like having that where it's just random topics kind of coming up, kind of off the fly, kind of what we always seem to do anyway. So
yeah,
it's pretty fun. Having some fun with it, and I'm gonna try to get some other guys over here too. So we can hopefully get some other guys. We're supposed to have some other people over here, but then they got plans changed and all that kind of stuff. So we're just left with you now.
We still love you.
We love you. Thank you for coming.
I'm the leftovers.
No.
You're the main dish, and they were just kind of the sides off the side.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
They're the
You're the turkey.
yeah. There you go.
I'm the dressing.
Everyone goes for the dressing.
I like the dressing.
Fine,
Yeah.
I do too. You're the dressing.
Dressing and pumpkin pie.
Okay.
That's what you have Thanksgiving.
But do you like sweet potato pie, or not sweet potato pie?
Yeah.
Yams. Do you like yams with big marshmallows or small marshmallows? Are you this big marshmallow kind of guy? Like, do you just give me marshmallows?
They all melt, and then you can't tell what size they are.
True. And then the marshmallows are really salty, so I don't particularly like them on my yams.
You don't like them on your yams?
It needs to have a lot of brown sugar in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if is this a northern thing or a southern thing that we do?
I don't know.
The Pilgrims did it. They brought it from England.
Oh, they brought marshmallows. They brought marshmallows, and that's the Indians gave it to us. They gave us the marshmallows.
Marshmallow. Yeah. The Indians gave us marshmallows.
Maize and marshmallows.
I kind of wonder who made marshmallows though. Like, it's kind of a weird thing too. It's just like, let's just make sugar and
right?
Yeah. I always kind of get weirded out by certain types of food, like cheese and any kind of dairy products. It's just kind of like, you know how that's made, you know, like.
Man, don't be hating on cheese.
No. I love cheese. It's just, it's weird as fuck how it's made.
Once you think about it, yeah.
Like, okay, like, let's go and, you know, drink the milk out of a cow, you know, or milk out of anything else. And it's just like, it doesn't seem right, you know. Do you think that's healthy? Do you think it's healthy to have milk in our diets over here all the time? I mean, it's kind of something that's made for...
As long as the cow's healthy.
As long as the cow's healthy. I mean, they did it in biblical times, so I don't...
They also did stonings and, you know, had gonorrhea and, you know, all that kind of stuff too.
If you look at the Bible as a historical document, you see, like, they did a lot of things, maybe as some people would claim it, as religious, how do you say it? Things that they had to do religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Versus there was actually a reason, like they were supposed to wash their hands. Well, the way they washed their hands was the way doctors wash their hands nowadays. So there's reasons kind of why they did things. So maybe I'm just thinking,
like the whole Jewish diet, if you ever go through and they're like, you know, there's certain things like, no bottom feeders in the fish.
No
they have to have scales and, you know, no pork and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, well, no duh. I mean, if you look at all the animals that are over there, those animals are the most unclean ones, and those do have problems, like where it's like...
Yeah, it's known.
Yeah, and so if you can avoid eating those, it kind of is better for you. And it's kind of like... But I don't think they even knew back then that why they were doing that. They just were like, oh, God told us this. So, but now we kind of get to see kind of the facts of some of the things where it's like, it's not good to eat, you know, pork, you know, because it's very close to human flesh over here to us too, you know. That's how our body processes it a little bit. So
see, that's where I think like milk, like there's no difference in drinking milk and like maybe eating pork. Like,
of all the things though, like milk and like dairy or anything has like, it's made for babies. You know, it's made for like, you know, the calf or like something. So having an adult or even, you know, someone that's growing over here telling you that you need milk, I don't know. I don't think you would need it from anywhere else. But then if you ask, like, okay, can you milk other things? Like,
so what do you want us to do? Do you want us to like?
I don't know. I'm curious. Like,
so we take away cow's milk. What you want? Breast milk?
What's
you
that?
want us to replace it with that? Since You
Well,
did drink it, so now
thing, though. That's the thing. Why is that odd?
Frosted Flakes and breast milk.
Oh Jesus! Why is that odd though? In comparison, like I mean, that comes from us. You know, it doesn't come from an animal, but it's accepted to drink out of an animal's, but not our own. You know.
Some humans, are nasty, and you don't want to think, oh, this came from a human.
I guess so. It's one of those things where it's just like, when did that become acceptable? Or like, I guess you just had to do what you have to do. And then like cows even are like, they need to be milked. Like, I went to an Amish community over there, and we had friends in an Amish community. Those cows were just waiting to be milked. They're like, just please milk me. They're over there like, it's just like they're holding it in and stuff like that. I think
that's probably part of the reason, because they
make an over excessive amount.
Yeah, they make excessive, but then also what happens when the lady can no longer breastfeed? So what are you supposed to give that baby?
Right. Yeah, especially, and then certain people can't. There's certain people that just can't breastfeed it at all either, too. I mean, they have other people that substitute for it sometimes, that but it's... I think you would need something like that, It's something, and then something so ingrained in at least American culture now, where it's like everything has it. Everything has some kind of dairy product in it,
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, let's eat some salad and have some cheese with it, or let's do this, and it's.
But I feel like dairy's still natural. Like, I think as far as I get drinking milk when you're as a kid because it's high in calcium and some stuff you need. But maybe as you become an adult, probably. Your body probably can no longer process certain things, I would imagine, because you're no longer a growing person. And
then I think of like all the different things that are in milk. Like I think the biggest thing they always try to promote is like, bone health and protein and stuff like that with it. And it's just like, or calcium, I should say. Calcium. And it's like, yeah, it kind of strips away. They're just finding out it's stripping away calcium from like your teeth and from different places because it's just taking it with it. And so it's like, okay, well, everything they just said was kind of like, oh no, they're just kind of lying to you. So it's not a healthy thing for you, as I think that most people try to give it off to be, but it is a good alternative for a lot of other different foods that you can't be eating. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll have to go vegan for like maybe a month.
No.
Yeah, we're going vegan for like just a month. Like it's like, okay, it's like an addiction thing. Like, if you want to know if you're addicted to something,
I'm addicted to meat.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus! But like, is that a good thing though? Like, you gotta, sometimes beating your body into subjection is like, yes, I know I can say no. Sometimes.
But why do I need to?
Why do you need to? Because like then when you look at a Twinkie and you're over there and just like,
I can say no to a Twinkie.
Okay, well then like you should be able to say no to other things too. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no need to say no to meat. Let me ask you this.
Yep.
Are you a carnivore or herbivore?
Carnivore.
Okay, so there we're gonna have meat then.
I don't think that our bodies are not really meant to be completely full vegetarian, vegan. I don't think we process it the same way. I think we need a little bit. I don't think we need as much as we do have though now in our diets. I think we're seeing quite a bit of bad coming out of it now. I think that like a good cleanse though.
Yeah.
Can do a good. So I'm gonna have to get all you guys on top of that one though. We're having a cleanse. We're gonna do a cleanse.
I'll do a cleanse like a
no max. Like no.
But
to take a full effect, it takes like 2.5 weeks before you actually see results in anything. So yeah.
No, I'll lose like 15 pounds.
Oh well, I mean,
I look skinny.
Okay, you were about to say.
I look like you, which is not a bad thing, but I would look too skinny. Y'all be like, he's sick.
Right.
What's he snort? No, it'd be what's he smoking.
Well, see, like even in the Bible over there, they had when they got taken into Babylon, and they're like, no, we're not gonna eat the meat over here, and so they didn't eat the meats, some of them, and they did really well with all their working out and everything they had to do, and they excelled, and so they didn't have to, they didn't have to eat I think it was sacrificed meat that was sacrificed to their gods that they didn't believe in,
yeah,
which was not really I think you couldn't do that back in the Jewish side of things. So I can't really remember why they didn't want to eat the meat, but they didn't want to eat the meat because I think it was sacrificed. So yeah, but they did well for them. I mean, they went on a vegetarian, diet for them, and
Yeah. I live in America, bro. I live in Texas.
You do. You live in Texas.
I ain't about that vegan lifestyle.
I don't like the vegan. I don't like the attitude towards veganism that comes with it, like like hipster vegan type stuff. I like the like originality of it though. I like where it's like, I can't believe this is not what it says it is.
Yeah.
Like they're fooling me.
Mhm.
They're fooling me with beans, making me think it tastes like meat.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do that? Like that's science, but
cool.
at the same time, I don't think my body knows how to process what the hell it is.
Yeah.
You ever eat like a veggie burger and you're like, I don't know if my body even knows what this is. It's like foreign, and so my body's just like flush.
But then again, it's like, okay, so if you're coming from it saying, hey, this is healthier, is it really healthier? Because it's fake. Like, it's always the fake stuff is not as good as the real stuff. So you might as well.
Hormonally wise, probably.
Because are you supposed to have all that soy product, like different?
Shrink
I don't
your balls,
think
so.
Hey, I ain't about that either.
Gotta have some children before that, right? They keep saying that with our generations that keep coming on, that our testosterone levels are lowering, and so is our sperm count now.
Really?
To a point where, it's getting like probably like statistically, I don't really go by everything I read, but from the article that I read, it said we were about 50% lower in our sperm count than it was like in 1940s and 50s.
Wonder why.
They don't really know, and the article at least I read said that scientists don't know why it's happening over there. But
maybe the amount of times you jack off. So if they took a guy 30 years old who didn't jack off, and a guy 30 years old who did,
they just didn't have good porn then either,
Yeah, but what would the sperm count be any different? Because you hear things like, as a guy that support jacking off, like, oh, it raises your testosterone,
right?
It makes you, you're more active, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But like, is it really?
I mean, it probably weakens your sperm count quite a bit. I mean, if you're especially like a daily thing, or like even, I mean, because it seems like if you get like a good week off of it, and then you go, and it's like that's
Mm-hmm.
the golden number right there, where it's just like that's a big one, know.
Yep, I get you. I get you.
So I can imagine, or even microscope wise, we could probably find out a lot more, how much sperm count it is. They could have miscounted even back then because they didn't have the best technology. How accurately
in 1940.
And like exactly who did they take it from and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of alarming, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm not really looking to get, like have children of my own. If ever I'm going to have any kind of kids, I'm going to adopt them. So it's kind of been my standings or our standings over here. So it doesn't really matter to me if my sperm count's lower, but if my testosterone count is lower, then I kind of get like, okay, hold up, hold up. I need that.
Yeah.
That's my man, That's how I'm a guy over there,
But that can be contributed to our
low consumption.
What we eat, because
Estrogen.
sugars, high sugar, all that is a testosterone blocker.
Yeah.
All the processed foods we eat nowadays.
So yeah, we're going on cleanse. We're gonna go and
Yeah.
we're gonna juice. How's about that? Yeah.
Okay, I'll juice.
Yeah, you'll juice.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll drink all day.
Just be chugging some carrot juice, and feeling like you're sick.
I actually
for a
really
little
like
bit.
carrot juice.
I love carrot juice.
Turn me orange.
I actually, when I was a baby, so says my parents, that I like carrots so much that I turned orange. I started turning orange. And then I like carrots and yams so much. So then my dad started seeing me turning orange, and then he's like, you need to kind of mix some colors over there,
Yeah, they will.
So I was like, I didn't even think about it. And then I think I remember a long time ago, there there's a TV show called The Magic School Bus. Did you ever watch that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's this one where he turns orange. So this kid on there turns orange. He eats so many of these like orange, I don't know, chips or something, and then he starts like turning really orange and stuff, and then go through all the process of why you turn orange or why you would turn any kind of color based upon what you're eating. As a kid, I was fascinated with that. I was like, oh, that's cool. I learned so much from like out of school. Like through different things. Like I'm like through even like the Magic School Bus or stuff like that. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I learned a lot from Magic School Bus.
And like the thing is, it's like it's still stuck in my head. Like to this day, I'm 22 years old, and I'm like, oh yeah, Magic School Bus taught me that.
Right. I wonder if they even watch it to this day. Do they still watch
Yeah, like the kids these days, like I mean.
Or would Magic School Bus be considered offensive nowadays?
Oh yeah, right. They went for the whole racial thing over there. They had all the different. They had an Asian kid in there. They had a black girl. They had a little bit of everything inside there. I thought it was pretty funny. They had a redhead kid. I'm like, okay, diversity. Which was pretty cool. I mean, they all were old friends and stuff on there. So I was like, but they got their propaganda in there. They try to push over there, which was fine, but. It's just funny to see sometimes when you go back and look at it, you're like, wait a second, what were they saying in this? What were they trying to teach me over here? It's just kind of funny.
I was going through Instagram today and I saw a quote from Jay-Z on an interview, and he said like one of the issues that we needed to address was white privilege. Like that's something we need to address. And I looked at that and was offended. I'm like, what are we talking about white privilege? Like, I'm half white, half Hispanic. There is no benefits being white, bro, because, like, everyone considers, you're a racist, you're this, and it's like half of it's not true.
And then half of the time you're just trying to cover your own ass.
Yeah, you can't voice your opinions, you can't say shit, you just better be quiet or you're a racist and you don't. So I don't think there's such thing as white privilege. I
think there is to an extent. We don't see it very often in like normal work areas, but in like higher up, paying jobs and stuff like that, there does seem to be quite a bit more, white people in charge. I still
disagree that that's white privilege, though. That's education,
right?
And it's almost the culture. So white culture is, hey. You send your kids to college. You try to make your kids better than you.
Yep.
And you help them out as much as you can. Well, in the black culture, like college is push, but it's not to the degree. It's right. Hey, if you're going to college, you're going to pay for it yourself. It tends to be wow.
Or get a scholarship of some sort.
In the white culture, our parents will go broke trying to put us through college most of the time, or we'll take loans.
Yeah, like it doesn't. We're not the smart ones on a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Because we're taking like god awful loans where it's just like, oh geez, you're never gonna pay this off for a long time over here, and then now you're gonna have to find a job to pay this off over here. And it's like, but in the long run, sometimes for some people that works out. But then if you're just going for like a shitty degree, like you got to know what you're going for, and you've got to just be straight on that one, because you got to get in and get out. You can't just linger around in college. You can't.
And people got to understand before they get all these loans is what they're going to school for, because people want to complain, and I think teachers are great, but you knew you were going to be a teacher. You knew what teachers got paid, so don't be bitching at the rest of us, at the people who did more with their college degree because you decided to be a teacher and you knew what your max salary was, and it's not bad because you got all these teachers, hey, we're going on strike. Why?
Yeah.
Most of them get paid around $40,000.
Yeah.
You get 2 months off. You get Christmas, 2 weeks in Christmas. Yep. You get spring break. You get weekends off. People in the regular workforce would kill for something like that. That would be considered.
And then you get to contribute to society as well.
Yeah.
You're contributing to the next generation. But then they don't consider that. it's a job. I mean, it becomes a job, and then I can only imagine, like, when you first start off, you're like over enthusiastic. You're like, yeah, I'm going to teach some kids, and then at the end of the day, you're just like, 10 years after you've been teaching for so long, you're just like, okay, too many kids,
Yeah.
And
but then again, like, why should we pay our teachers more? It is known we have some of the worst education systems compared to all the other countries. America does.
right.
But our teachers want more money. I get it. Maybe they should.
Maybe
But I think
we'll get better quality
them.
that way.
Yeah, hey. But they should be graded just like the student is. Hey, if your kids aren't passing, that's a little bit on you. You need to be. You gotta actually teach, not just show
And they're
up.
getting paid about as much as even someone in like the police force and stuff like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
people who put their life on the line too, where it's just like, okay, well, they're getting paid pretty much the same thing too, and so, but they're doing it in a different way where they're actually putting their lives on. But to compare the two, then it would be like, okay, well, then cops need to get paid more too, and it's just all this kind of, I don't know, it keeps equaling itself out over here, and just how much is too much, and I think that our generation is really not content with everything.
There's no
and then you know what you're getting into. That's the thing too. If you're going to become a teacher, you're going into college and you're going through all the courses, and you're knowing very well how much you're going to be getting from the start. It's kind of like the teachers don't get the best pay, and that's everyone knows that,
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why, I don't know. I think that the schools get a ton of money, and they should invest more money in their teachers over there, but they have so much other things that they're putting their money into. And I think every time that we get to a point where we start spending money, it just seems like it keeps getting more and more and more and more. Even with like how the United States was spending money, like how much we started off, just like, oh, we can do a little bit, and then you just keep raising the bar of how much debt you can get into, and it's just like, okay, how much is, where's the stopping point? You can't not have a stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of dangerous, And so that would just mean more taxation for everyone else if it was going to have, every teacher that they have out there going and needing more money, which would be causing everyone else to have, other problems, So it's like, I don't know what you do with that. I don't know. But they do know where it's like going in to begin with. A friend of mine's daughter, she went in and she's a school teacher now. She was talking about it to me here recently. She just loves it. Like, she just loves teaching the kids. She's like over there. She's doing her time in like Ohio or something like that, so then she can get some education done over there and get a good resume, so then she can move over here. Because apparently Texas has some higher standards for our teachers over here. Like, you have to have some experience in certain places, like in the DFW area over here, where she was wanting to come over here. So she's doing her time for a couple of years and then kind of moving back over here. But the passion is there. Like, that's what she always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so it was just, you're not getting paid the best, but you're doing what your passion is. You're dealing with kids and investing in the next generation. So. I think we should be paying our police force a lot more, though. I think for what they do and everything they do for us, they should be getting paid a lot more than just minimal.
I would say so, but also they do get taken care of as far as when you talk about their insurance. Their insurance is very good.
Oh yeah.
They've got a retirement. They've got a pension. They've got things that sweeten the pot.
Mm-hmm.
So, because my dad is a jailer, so it's all lumped into the same thing.
Right.
And the insurance is amazing. Like, the insurance really does take. We're a family of 8, and the insurance takes care of everything. And we knew that was different because he had worked at Brinks beforehand. And even he paid out his ass for the insurance there, and the co-pays are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Co-pays are very minimal.
It's getting worse nowadays too. It seems it's like, do you have like with Home Depot? Do y'all have any kind of?
We do, but it is terrible, and
especially for younger, like the younger you are, it's like they just like make you. They charge you
Yeah.
an arm and a leg. It's insane how much they charge.
and
you.
it wasn't like when I started. Part timers got full benefits, so they got health
nice.
insurance.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as soon as Obama came into office and Obamacare passed, part timers didn't get insurance, and then we changed insurance companies, and now it's hard to find people who actually accept our insurance.
Yep.
And it's in the system, and that's what everyone complains. I can't find a doctor because if I do find one, he's not even close to me.
Right.
And it's because like if they'd be like, I got one down the street, but I can't go there.
Yep.
Because my my boss, his wife got really sick, and she was put in ICU, and she was actually had the what's it called? She had some kind of virus, and they didn't know what it was. So they had her sectioned off. They had to test all her family. They had to test him.
Oh,
because
geez.
they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So it was like very serious. Well, they took her to the first hospital available. Well, it wasn't in his network. So he's stuck with that bill.
Or was it like 20 grand they stuck with over there?
80 grand.
80 grand.
Shit.
80 fucking grand.
80 grand.
How long was she there?
She was there for a few weeks.
Jesus Christ, man.
But
Like-
she was like coughing up a black mucus,
Oh my
and
God.
like they didn't know what it was.
I mean, did they ever figure out what it
They
was?
still don't know what it was. They figured out how to control it,
Okay.
but they don't know how she got it. And
Yep. Maybe some kind of weird sexual disease, you know, and he's over there with some hooker, you know.
Oh, dude.
Hey, I mean, I don't know, but it just... I
But
think it's
that's-
insane, like, how much they can charge you for certain things at the hospital. Like, I understand that they need to make money, but they're straight up robbing quite a bit of people, you know. And then with Obamacare, it was supposed to help out with that a little bit, but then I guess it didn't really that well, so then they changed it. And I didn't have Obamacare. I didn't have any insurance for not this year or last year, the year before that. So I got charged quite a bit of money off of my taxes. Like I lost money on my taxes a couple of years back, and so I've got insurance now. Still, yeah, it's charging quite a bit of money out of my account. You know, right off of there. It's just like, woof.
I
The
think
younger you are, it's just like, woof, you bite it.
because I'm still under my dad's insurance, so I can get to your 25, 26.
26.
Yeah, you can still be claimed on your parents. So I
Right.
still have that,
Not
but
married.
once I get off that, I'm probably, if I'm still single, I'm not gonna get insurance. It's like why they're gonna penalize me for being young. So if I get sick, I'll just call in from work and lay in bed for 3 days, and then come back to work. You know,
Right.
not pay so much and then have to still have to pay high co-pays and everything. It's not worth
You
it.
will get it taken out of your taxes though if you don't have health.
Not
Health
anymore.
insurance.
Not
Really?
anymore.
Not anymore. No.
They don't. So it's still in the document is there, but they added something. They added where they're not going to enforce it. So
Yeah.
no longer can they take that out.
Because that was kind of like robbery over there.
That
too.
was the biggest.
What
there
I
was-
thought was so weird was like when I did my taxes, I was like, okay, so they took out for me not having any insurance, but then I still don't have insurance.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait a second, wait. You're taking out of my insurance, and then I'm paying because I don't have insurance over here, but then I still don't have it. You know, it's just, it's weird. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, it's kind of like, okay, you're just robbing me now, you know? But I don't know.
It's because
It's a weird thing.
they wanted everyone to be on Obamacare,
But it's,
so that so you,
Yeah.
the healthy young person, they need you on there so you can pay for the old person who doesn't have anything.
right.
And I don't mind helping people. Like, if you need help, okay. But at the end of the day, you control.
Make me.
Yeah, don't make me help you because then I'm not really helping you.
Yeah.
So each for you are a product of the choices you make, and I believe that.
Right. Well, I mean, there's all these people too that's like they are not healthy.
They're not healthy.
They're not putting in any effort to
Yeah.
be healthier. they're just over here dying from not even caring. And it's like, okay, well, why am I paying for that? Why am I paying for their, I don't know. I understand you got to live a nice life. You've got to live a life that, you eat some, don't be starving yourself all the time. Be happy. It's not like you have to have a crazy awesome body all the time over here, but you can't have stuff like where, we have such a sugar intake and everything. It's just like, you can't be doing everything that you're doing right now, and then they don't listen, and then now we're having to pay for their faults. It's like, okay,
and people not planning for when they get older and they don't have money.
Right.
That's not on me, man. That's on you.
And then the whole Social Security thing is just a joke now.
It's a joke because we're not gonna get any.
I'm not gonna ever touch Social Security. I bet. And by the time I get to the point where I'm gonna actually maybe need it, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, we're still paying the other people for it, And it's like they weren't supposed to be able. I think they weren't supposed to be able to touch it at all.
No, they weren't.
And then they somehow changed the law.
And then Bill Clinton.
Yep.
Got into it. It was him who started it.
I mean,
I'm not hating on the Clintons, but he did do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't do anything. I mean, that just made it where they're really happy to spend money again.
Well, it was the whole thing because the budget was off center, and one of his claims of fame is, "Hey, I balanced the budget."
Right.
Yeah, you did, motherfucker, because you took from Social Security.
I mean, it's just like a whole bunch of cash that's like over there just sitting there. It's like, oh, it's free cash. You know.
That's not.
And then they're supposed to pay it back though. That was the thing. It was like it wasn't supposed to be a continual thing they took out of or anything. And it's like now it's just like okay, And then for the people that actually get Social Security too, some of the people that are on it and some of the people that get money from it is just like this is ridiculous. They should not be getting money from it. They're doing certain things. This is like no, you're not handicapped. You're not doing this. And I don't know how you enforce where to give money off to and where not to, but I think the system, whatever we're doing right now, is not really working very well for it.
I think it should be solely based on what you contribute. And from what I hear, it is a little bit based on what you contribute, but then I guess it's not completely.
I don't get it.
I really don't understand. I don't think I need to get it because it's not going to be there for me.
Yeah, right. It's just one of those things. It's weird. It's broken system and it shouldn't be in place and then it's still in place and it was a good idea, but then the motives were good, but then in the end it's kind of like I wonder how many people it's actually saved and helped, and I think it's helped quite a bit of people because you hear all these old people that I'm just riding my Social Security, got that paycheck in the mail, there's like two, I've got my Social Security, like my grandfather, he's on Social Security over there where he has a disability over there. He had a head injury back in the day, on the job kind of thing. And then now he can't really work. He couldn't work since he was like 40 or something like that. And so it's like, okay, he needs it and he's alone now because his wife died, my grandma. And so like that's all he's working off of right now. It's just that. And it kind of works out for him. It's just enough to kind of barely make it by, just long enough to like, okay, you can get away with it for 5 or 10 years, and then you're gonna be in complete debt in something else or doing something,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I like the so there's because most people our age know Social Security won't be there. The alternative plan is making it where everyone you're still gonna be donating the money, but it's going to go to a 401k plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right,
or
right.
a Roth IRA.
Yeah,
we got a Roth IRA set up.
You, so you get it.
I control it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get like everything that's inside there.
And
it's not taxed. It's not taxed. So, it's nice to be able we set that up. Me and Harmony over here, we have our own, and we contributed money into it on a month-to-month basis over there. So, yeah, we do. We're putting it aside because, I'm not going to be, relying on Social Security, but that's because we have the stability to do that. Some people don't have that stability. Some people are paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Like my parents were paycheck to paycheck for a long time, for like the whole entire time when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So there was no way that they could set aside anything at the moment, for something like that. So
that's where it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all giving the money anyways. So make it where you're still giving the money, but you When you reach this age, you get what you put in.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're doing justice to the bank system too.
Yeah.
Or they get to have our money in the bank over there,
Yep.
where it's like nice and so they won't have problems with people. As long as they don't touch my funds, I'm fine. No, but that's just one of those things. You got to be smart with your money. You can't just be ridiculously spending it all over here and here. I think if everybody actually looks and sees everything they're spending money on or everything, they're like, okay, well, you can set aside quite a bit of money. Like back in the day, like all these phone bills and all these things that we have is just like these are luxury items that we had before. Now that we need them for everything, It's like now we need them, and now we're paying a lot more into it. We're getting paid a lot more than like our parents were before. Minimum wage has been increased and everything like that, but like to what extent? Like it keeps getting higher and higher and higher and higher. It's like money just keeps
Cost
going.
of living keeps going up.
Cost of living keeps going up and up and up, and it's just like this is ridiculous. I don't get the U.S. dollar. I don't get how something like that can just all of a sudden be like back in the day, pennies would get us something. Now it's like pennies will get you nothing.
Yeah.
A penny doesn't cost a penny anymore. It costs more to make a penny than a penny. That's ridiculous. That's a flawed system. And then why do we even have pennies now? And so,
Aren't they getting rid of pennies?
I don't know. I
You would think they'd have enough of them floating around to be able to shut it
Canada
down.
doesn't have pennies. The smallest is 5 cents. So they just round whatever if you give them cash.
It makes sense because like who really keeps up with your pennies?
Yeah.
I pick up pennies because my mom always said, look, an angel, I forget what it was, but it had to do with an angel. Like an angel dropped a penny for you. It's a good day.
Yeah.
So I every time I see a penny, I think of that, and I think of my mom, and I pick the penny up. Like even if my hands are full, I'll put it down and pick the penny up. It's like, this is stupid. Everybody's probably thinking, what's this guy doing? It's just a penny, but...
Hey, man, what was that? Penny earned,
A penny saved is a penny
saved, yeah. So,
The stupid thing is, like, I don't even know what ends up with the pennies I pick up. Like, I'll put them in my pocket, and or I'll drop them in my car. Like, I'd probably never get them out of my car. I'll probably end up vacuuming them up when I go to my car, to be honest. But it's I still will pick them up.
That's funny. Yeah. It's funny those little weird things that we get to like that from our family that, just get passed down from time to time to time where like we just do certain things.
Yeah.
Like and then no one understands why we do them and like you starting to question like, wait a second, why am I doing it? Like, like why did I lick an envelope that certain way? That's just how you do it, and you don't ever learn any other way. And I always think it's kind of funny, like especially with different races of different people, there's different things they do in between them, where it's like, white people do it a certain way and then Hispanics do it a certain way and Asians do it a certain way. And so it's like, but then we don't understand each other. It's like, wait, I never even knew that you do, certain things like this. And, it's cool to see all the diversity, all the, what gets passed down through all the generations. And then with like the technology age that we have now, it's like we still have pretty primitive stuff that we do on a day-to-day basis that we don't even realize. That someone somewhere decided that they were gonna say that if you pick up a penny, and then say it to their kid, and that kid said it to their kid, it's like,
right, and it's just
and it goes down. Yeah, but then now we still have it,
Yeah.
And it's just kind of funny. It's like, where did it come from?
Yeah.
All those kind of funny little quirks that we do.
But I think that's what makes families unique, and that's how cultures are made. It's passed down from your parents, your grandparents. It's just accumulation of your immediate history.
And the best part too, when like being that I'm recently married over here too, is just like having the accumulation of all my stuff that my family's gone through and does, and all the weird things that we do, and then all of her stuff, and then just the combination of both, where you see something different, and then you catch yourself doing something that's like, wait, that's not coming from anything but her side stuff, where it's like, I wouldn't have done this if I didn't know her. I would have, been thinking a certain way or doing this, continually repetition thing. But now I do, it's like, oh, I picked this up, I always think of all the things you pick up from other people, like all the different, like at some point somewhere someone said what you're saying right now. Someone said something to you, and now you're using that same word that you learned from them or from a book. It's like, where did it all come from? Why is my mannerisms a certain way that they are? And then like when you're around certain people, you're like, you pick up on certain mannerisms, and you're like, I'm picked up on their mannerism. I picked up on a Jakeism or a Harmonyism or It's like, oh, that's funny. And then the longer you're with somebody, it seems like you pick up from them, and then it's like you share each other's mannerisms. Mm-hmm. Some people are really bad at picking up on mannerisms, though. They're like they don't have their own. They just pick up on everyone else's. So they just keep picking it up, and I think the internet has even changed that to even higher extent, where like a majority of people can now go and watch a video and now all have that same type of mannerism. You know, where back in the day it was like, if you go travel, down south 2 hours, it's an entirely different culture.
Yeah.
Entirely now everything's kind of centralized a little bit more. I think our accents are slowly dying off now too.
I disagree.
We're from Texas over here, but we all watch Hollywood movies. We're all sounding more and more, I think, like Hollywood.
I disagree.
In our little world, that's what's happening.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I have a country wang to my voice.
I have a country wang.
I have it.
Yeah, he does.
We do. I find myself sounding like, the more I go to Central Texas, kind of where my family heritage has been, the more I sound more like them. I'm like, wait a second, I sound like them. It's more of a breathy kind of thing that they have going on. And I'm like, that's me. I'm like, I never lived in Central Texas, but like a year and a half or two. My family did, though. My family was born, kind of raised over in more Central Texas, so they have that, and they brought it over their kids over here. But I think that we do pick up a lot more on the Hollywood stuff, like with wordings and stuff like that, but we don't have if you go really west over here in Texas, there's some crazy people that have some crazy twang to them.
Yeah.
If you go over like Arkansas and Oklahoma and stuff like that, but over here in the DFW area, there's some people that do have it, but not as bad. Not as bad as it was probably way back when, where there's like some really crazy ones out there,
Yeah.
Now there's...
I agree.
What I think is just so funny is like how we get accents. We're saying the same thing. We're all saying the same thing, but the weird part is the way that we say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wonders, like, with other different languages, you hear them say certain things. I'm like, did they say that with a twang? Is it like something different?
Yeah.
Like, can they tell when people are, learning a language and they learn the language really well, that they just don't have the same thing? There's just like this disconnect, Mm-hmm. You just weren't raised with that twang going for you, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of it is. So when you talk about like a twang, is it a natural thing, or is it something because? Is it really because that's what you heard your parents talk with, and so you develop a twang?
I think so, because like when I think of different people, if you ever go to the Mexican side of things, they talk sometimes with a certain way of talking, and then they're still in Texas, mm-hmm. but they have a different way of talking. Like my good friend Sierra, she sounds just like her mom, and her mom has a more Mexican vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a faster talking, and then the syllables are a little bit different.
Yep.
And how they construct their words are a little bit different, and then all the different words they say are different. It's like they just have their own thing, but they're in the same kind of area over here. But they picked it up from their family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of funny. And then there's certain people that you talk to that like they don't sound anything like their family. You're like, y'all are brothers, you have a different kind of way of talking completely. And so I don't know. It's all how we process everything and what we pick up on. I think it's what we pick up on too, big time, subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
We pick up on certain things, like you probably liked Western movies, and so you picked up on John Wayne over there, and Clint Eastwood, or you liked. I like Star Trek a lot, and so like
too nerdy.
No.
Too
but
nerdy.
Like, I like the whole Star Trek kind of vibe to it. So like, I find myself saying words that their type of wording, like
You're a
I don't
nerd.
know, logical.
yeah, like logic.
They're
Like,
not logical.
no,
It's
but
a
that's
bunch
just
of bull.
no, but like just like
Yeah,
like
what
saying,
is a Spock?
like saying like logical and stuff like that, where it's just like I find myself saying that, and it's just like, wait a second, that's a Star Trek thing, It's like I was born and raised with Star Trek, and so that's just kind of the thing that
Yeah, I get you.
you kind of start sounding like them too. But what I find really funny is we can't really imitate. We can imitate certain things, but we can't ever get it completely right. Like if you see certain things with certain different people, it's like they can't get a country twang going. Like some northern people have no idea how to get a y'all like that.
I get, yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like they can't get it down, or like even like I think of like Arnold. He's over there like he still talks really strange.
Yeah, no matter
Everyone
what.
has the impression of how he talks, but he doesn't talk like me and you. He talks with his own accent. That comes from Australian a little bit. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
it's funny to me that certain people can pull off entirely different accents, and then certain people just they stick with the same kind of accent the whole entire time. There's no changing it.
I think that's what makes comedians so great, when they can take an accent and do the mannerisms of different cultures. That's what I like to see.
Oh yeah, like Gabriel Iglesias, he does it really good.
Yeah,
he hits it right at the mark over there, and just like he sounds like a black woman. That's
he can. Straight
he
up.
sounds like just a white guy that's over there. It's funny. It cracks me up.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
That's what I love about comedy, though, because they can say whatever they want, and the stuff that we laugh at on a day-to-day basis and that we find humorous, like, but we know we can't say, they just say it.
Right.
And they can cross those boundaries that otherwise you couldn't do on a day-to-day basis.
On the ploy of it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, they're like, oh, it's just a joke. That's.
But I think I agree. But it's almost, I think they're telling a joke, but it's look how stupid we kind of are.
Yeah.
Like we can't talk about this, but this is how like simple this is, and they say it that way
and break it down.
Break it down. It's just like, okay, if we would all just realize it like that, then we could all talk about it like that.
Yeah, and that's why I think everyone just needs to loosen the fuck down. Just like, come on, we have to. We're not in this little realm of, oh, you can't say this, oh, you can't say this, oh, you can't say it. I understand you can't say certain things, but you've got to have a heart towards the individuals. If your heart's wrong, then anything you say pretty much is wrong anyway. But if you're saying it with just like even a joking manner, or in a way of like you truly respect those people anyway, you can say whatever you want, like against any the Democratic Party or this party, against any kind of racial stuff over there. It's just kind of like if you're saying it in a sense where it's like you're saying truth over there too, a little bit, mixed with a little bit of humor. I don't know. I think you should be able to say whatever you want to, and then for people to come and attack you for weird things, it's kind of like, oh, that's ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we need certain, like, okay, that's too far. Like I find myself not really finding out what's too far. Like my too far is like, I don't know. I don't have it. Like they can have something crazy happen, and I'm like, okay, that's sad. And then at the same time, you can make a joke about it 5 minutes later, and I'm like, I can laugh about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can do that with certain people get offended with it. I don't know how to get offended. Like, I don't know how to get offended. Like, that's your opinion, or that's what you think,
Yeah, I think the only time I'd ever get offended is
if someone like pokes me. That's when I get offended.
If someone meant it, like maliciously, like trying to degrade who you are because of your opinion, I'd have an issue with that.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I think that people just haven't quite figured out the sticks and stones thing, where it's like you can say a whole bunch, and then I think that getting people riled up to throw sticks and stones at people is wrong. Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're just saying stuff just to say stuff, people say stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we shouldn't be so soft. We should be able to make a joke about different things and like that. So I would like to get into some comedy here later on. That'd be pretty fun. Like do
Yeah,
some open
that
mic.
would be cool.
We did that open mic that one time.
We did.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
You got me nice and buzzed.
Did I ever show you the video? I have the video.
Ah, show me.
I have the video. It's
Yeah, I was kind of out of it. I was just kind of like, I can't take any alcohol. I don't drink anymore. I don't drink at all.
He had one Moscow Mule and one Michelob Ultra. That is all he had.
And I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get on stage. And then you're like, what? And I was like, sign me up.
I'm like,
And-
no,
and
not
so-
me. I'll sit here and watch.
So we sat there. And I was like, no, you're coming. You're coming. You're okay. No, he didn't come. And I was like, oh, he signed me up. And I signed it up. And I got up there and I was just like, oh. And then, I don't know. I don't even remember what I talked about, but it was funny. I was just like, oh, okay. It was a new experience for me, at least, to be able to stand up in front of just a couple of people and just talk, So I like to do that some more with, and see how far I could get,
I don't like. My biggest thing would just be getting up in front of a crowd, but in the essence of getting up and like open mic comedy, it's not too hard because it's really you're just storytelling.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're just highlighting the comedic events of your story.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something you put a little time into, it's not that hard. And then it's all about how the crowd reacts. If you say a certain way and present it, and you see that they don't laugh, well, then you change the way you say it.
Change it, yeah. And it's very dynamic. The crowd is very dynamic, especially between the different people. So you have someone that just bombed, and everyone's just like, and then
Yeah.
you get on stage and they're just like, or they get some guy that like, hypes them all up, and they're over there just like, what's next,
Yeah,
And
you got to
then
figure
you
out
come
what
up on
makes them go.
Yeah, and then so you could be like that. There's so many different types of comedy out there now too. It's amazing. I love it. And then the internet just lets me like eat it up. Like my wife sees it all the time. Like I'm over here just listening, like because they get to say stuff like whatever true, like weird, crazy crap, and they make people think. I think and they're making jokes, but at the same time, I think they're some of the smarter people out there because they make people think.
Yeah.
They make people like question, like, wait, why do I think that way? And no one else is doing that. The leaders are over there just like, oh, we don't talk about that. And they're over there like, why the fuck not? Let's talk about it. And then I think that we need to figure out what we believe, and so getting different opinions, even if you don't like the certain jokes that they're joking about, you can at least get their side of things and like being open minded.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like that. I don't like how people try to say, be open-minded, and then they're not open-minded themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, you can't be telling me to be open-minded.
two-faced.
And it's like it's two-faced. It's like I can't be open-minded on certain subjects and then not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hit me with everything. Like, show me why I'm wrong. Show me what your opinion is on the matter. I think the only problem is that you tie in your emotions to a lot of what you believe.
Yeah.
And you associate your identity with what you believe, like a lot. And then if you ever, if someone's attacking a certain topic that you believe in, it's almost like they're attacking you and your identity of what you associate it as. And so I think that's why people take such offense nowadays too, because they can't distinguish between what they believe in and what their identity is of what they believe in.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like with this podcast. I want to just keep it open. I want to keep an open mind, like just new ideas flooding through, anything that can come in, and just popcorn things. You just be like, why do you believe what you believe? Question what you believe, and then have an answer to somebody. If you catch me without an answer, then I'm like, okay, well then now I can sit down and like now figure out what my answer is, instead of just going around, like, oh, we don't talk about that, or let's not talk about that because I don't have an answer. That's kind of stupid. It's like it's not what you do. You go and hash it out and figure out what it is then. No, I think we can have some fun with this podcast.
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit.
definitely. I think dinner sounds good.
Dinner does sound pretty good. So thank you for joining us for this podcast over here. This is going to be the third one that we had over here. So keep tuning in over here, and have a good night.